Okay, Book 1 families, I am going to go as quickly as possible through this because I tend to get wordy and I don't want to do that. We are going to talk a little bit about what you can expect from Book 1, how it's similar to what they'll do last year and different and all of those good things. So I'm going to start by showing you the very first page, which is All These Is Flow. You will notice that Book 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are broken up into units. This is Unit 1, all right? Each unit, we spend as much time as we need on it. It could be 1 week, it could be 2, it could be 3. If you look over here, lesson time objectives, these are all of the things that I'm trying to check off my list before we can move on to Unit 2. So I'm sure you can imagine that getting through all of these things in one class with 3 or 4 or even 2 students isn't always easy, and it's dependent on how much we get done, how much creating we do, etc. So if I'm ever saying that we're not moving on yet, there's so many reasons behind that. Activities to teach audiation skills, that's our movement and our singing, all right? Keyboard geography and technique, that's when we're starting to approach the piano, put some more context in it, and also do some verbal association this year. So where we used to touch the white key that came before the set of 3 black keys, now we're going to start calling that F, because that's what it is. All right, so these are things we usually do in class, or I assign, you would know, because I would say in my music staff, Unit 1, page 1, do the student activity. Song to sing is something new. I love song to sing. It's a requirement for them to listen to, and that is it. They should not do anything else with it. Please don't try to play it for them, and please don't have them play it. Instead, this is a listening exercises, and we also do things with it in class, talking about the different notes, the different patterns. That's where my job comes in. Exploration, creativity, and improvisation. That's very similar to last year, only we're giving more context. This is the part that you can really kind of look into at home, book and listening assignments. Now, always do the things that I say, but if you're like, wow, I don't have my phone near me, or I can't access my music staff, it's good to look at this. This will tell you things about your listening and the song they're working on, the checklist, which I'm about to show you, and this lovely black circle here, this dark circle that says track 1 from the pattern CD. You will watch a separate video about the pattern CD, but this is actually separate listening. This year, song to sing is required listening, pattern CD, and also, of course, listening to the song that they are assigned. Okay, so here, track 2 is Popcorn. That's the song they're learning. You see that it looks similar to keyboard games with the keyboard written below, only we're starting to have a couple of different symbols coming through. If there's a circle around the hand, it's a moving hand. That means it doesn't stay in the same place. And if there's a square, that means the hand does not move. You're also going to see in these boxes student duet parts. Sometimes they will be assigned the student duet part. Sometimes they will only be assigned the student part. Eventually, they will be able to play this together with me or with another student. All right, so those are the big differences. Also, you get to see more written out. That's kind of fun for them. And then there's this. This lovely little rectangle is your checklist, okay? What we do in the lesson is checked off here, all right? And what I want to assign them to do at home is checked off here. Super simple. A lot of times I'll do more in the lesson than I'll assign at home. For example, if I assigned to chant the rhythm pattern of Popcorn, you might not know what the heck I'm talking about, so I probably won't do that. Where I can assign the solo, and I can tell you to play it separate style, and I can tell you to play it softly, and those are all things you can help your child with at home. Okay, so that's an example of Unit 1. And so for the beginning of the year, they do a lot of playing where they're kind of all over the piano, but they're still providing that context where things happen in 4-bar phrases. Here's one song. just starting to move a little bit more with their hands, which means their eyes have to look around a bit more. A lot of that happens in the beginning of the year, and then we start to get a little more shape to our rhythm. Here's the bumblebee on page 23. Do-da-dee, do-da-dee. Nice and simple. We're starting to shape a little more melody, but still a lot going on there. All right? And then right on Unit 10 is when we start to give more verbal association and more tonal context. We've done a lot of rhythm context, and now they're going to start to associate that this white key is called G. And guess what? It's always called G. G can be a lot of different things. Sometimes Do is G. And if Do is G, that means we're in major, which means that my scale is going to sound like that. Okay? My Do can be in all kinds of different places. It can be on an F or a C or a G sharp or an A, but for this page, it's on a G. This is where we start to get tonal context, because in every single major song, there are chords that underline a melody. So here's my 1, 5, 1. All right? And what I mean is tonic, dominant, tonic. And so this page is going to help them to learn how to play a cadence. On the top, you'll see the left hand. Wait, is that? Sorry, the right hand. Oh my gosh. And you can see the shaded fingers that are supposed to play this picture. You can see that the thumb plays Do, the middle finger plays Mi, and the pinky plays So. And since the arrow is going from left to right, I play it from left to right. Do, Mi, So. Like this. Do, Mi, So. And then you go to the next page, staying with the same hand. Now my arrow is going the opposite way. So I start with my pinky on So and my thumb on T. So, T. And that will look like this. So, T. And the next one, So, Fa, Re, T. The arrow goes from right to left again and ends on tonic with Do, Mi, Do. Now, if everything I just said was a foreign language to you, this is what it's going to sound like when they learn how to play and sing it. Do, Mi, So, So, T, So, Fa, Re, T, Do, Mi, Do. Isn't that nice? And it sets them up to learn how to play in major. And that's the next song that they learn. They learn to play a major tune when G is Do. All right? They learn to just play one hand. But in book 1, we start to think about what the other part would sound like. Bum, 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 bum. And we do a lot with that until we get to the end of the year, closer to the end of the year, when they have audiated the second part enough that they can play it with ease. Into the rest of the year. And for the rest of the year, they're spending time learning about different Do's. They learn what it looks like when C is Do. They learn what it's like when F sharp is Do, when F is Do. And then when they can play all of these different tonal context cadences in different keys, they can play their songs in different keys. Here's my same song with a different Do. And then by the end of the year, they're playing something called Springtime 1, which will carry through all the way until at least the end of book 3. Here's how they learn it. In book 2, they play it like this. In book 3, they might switch it to minor and play it like this. gives you a little bit of idea of what they'll be working on. Did I go over 15 minutes? I'm about to find out.